Good dang Sunday, my fine aviation enthusiast friends. Welcome to the Airplane Show! And today we're going to do something a little different than Aerofly. We're going into the Microsoft Flight Simulator on my iPad. That's right. With Xbox's Game Pass, you can play all their games pretty much on your phone or on really any mobile device. It's awesome. It's awesome for like $15 a month. Anyways, we're going to leave from Sedona Airport in Phoenix and take a really short trip to Grand Canyon National Park in probably my favorite plane in Microsoft Flight Simulator, the Diamond DA62 aircraft. I think it's really cool looking. The instruments are pretty easy to use, so we're going to get into this. Let me pull up the flight that we're gonna do today. Let me pull it up in Navigraph so I can show you what I built. So my friends, the main reason I decided to go with a short flight and a propeller plane is because there's really no good way to fast forward in this game. Like Aerofly, you can go ahead and go back to the main screen, click on the map where you want the plane, and put yourself at the right altitude, all that stuff. You're good. Here, they have a forward to button that you can opt for. However, when you do that, at least with me, every plane I've tried it with, like I'll be at 36,000 feet or cruising altitude, whatever it is, and it puts me at like 4,000 feet above the ground or in a barrel roll or what the case is. Now they do have, so I can't use that. That's not doable. So they have a feature where you can fast forward the simulator itself, like fast forward time. However, you can only really go up 2 or 3 times the regular speed, and there's no way of knowing how fast you're actually adjusting a simulator other than you have to remember how many times you click the buttons for it. So I've tried doing it like 5, 6, 7, 8 times the regular speed. However, that will make your plane bounce so much in the air that autopilot kicks off and you wind up going into some sort of roll, or the plane almost overturns. So in order to make this video and to do something I would enjoy and all that, because I if you see my videos, I don't like sitting at a cruising altitude for hours and hours. So I'm not going to do that. I mean, that's crazy. Some people might like it. I don't have the time for that, to be honest. If somebody wants me to do a video like that, I'll consider it. But anyway, so with that said, this plane is probably my favorite in the game. I found a short little route where I can incorporate all the things in the navigation that I would like to show in this video. Setting a departure, setting an approach, an ILS capture, a glide scope capture, programming waypoints, programming highways in the air. So anyways, that's why we're doing this little short flight today. But here's the route I built from Sedona Airport to Grand Canyon National Park. And we're going to leave on the Biter 1 RNAV departure. And then we're going to pick up the ILS/localizer runway 3 for Grand Canyon National Park. So that's a little bit about this flight here. You'll see me program the whole thing here momentarily. Alright, let's fire up this bird. Let's fire it up. Let's make sure the parking brake is on first. There we go. Now I'm just using my PS4 controller for this. Alright, let's turn the battery on. This plane is pretty dang simple to start up. Let's go all the way back here. Open up this here cover so we can turn on the fuel for the aeroplane. Now, if you're doing this simulator, and one thing I've found easier when you're clicking on things, once you click on it and it's highlighted, you actually use the right and left trigger. That moves it up or down. I do that with everything. Navigation, altitude, any knobs. Instead of using the thumb pad or the sticks, use the triggers. All right, let's turn on both right and left alternators. Let's turn on the avionics. And let's program our route for today. Yep, we're going to program the whole thing right here in this Garmin system. Just like we would do, or almost like we would do if we were really in an airplane. A real airplane. Alright, so let me first find out. Now, I don't usually fly with the ATC on because it's a pain in the butt. But I do want to find out what our actual altitude is today, what the barometric pressure is. So I can set that. Now when I land, I usually put it back to standard, but for takeoff, I like to at least simulate the correct barometric pressure here. So we're going to set that up first, and here we go. So altimeter is 3021. So we're going to click on that outer ring and just use the right trigger and move that up to 3021. Now that will also set the little one right there. So, all right, flight plan, let's click on that. Now, the only way I can figure out how to get that to show up, the cursor, is to click on VNAV Prof for VNAV Profile. That'll get that little cursor moving, and then we can go ahead and get it to show up. So let's click the outer ring, the inner ring for the letter. The outer ring again to move it. The inner ring, or the front ring for the small ring for the letter again. Then the bigger ring to move it. And we're going to keep on doing that. We'll get into doing an airport here. Here we go. Let's click enter. Yep. Move that ring, the small one. Let's choose runway 21. Click enter. Click enter again. Now let's go to our route. We'll put in the SID and the star. Well, we don't have a star this one. We'll put in the SID and the approach after we program the waypoint. So let's program our first waypoint, which is going to be Byter, B-Y-T-E-R. So the big ring in the back moves the cursor right to left. The little knob in the front is what you use to choose the letter. You got that. Now let's put in FLG for Flagstaff. We're going to make our left-hand turn once we get about a mile out from the Flagstaff VOR. All right, now we're going to get ready to do our first highway in the air. After we get this here programmed. Not China. Southwest US of A. Let's do that. There we go. Let's hit enter. Now let's set up. I think I have to hit menu. Let's see here. Let's see the right one here. Load airway. Let's see if I can load it from here, if I need to go down one more slot. All right, load airway. Enter. Yeah, that's what I thought. I got to go down one more. Okay. So let's go down, move the cursor down one level. We got to clear. Let's click the clear button. We'll go down one more. There we go. And now we can load in. Now we can click menu. Oop, wrong thing. Clear, then menu. Now load airway. Here we go. Now we got it. Now we're cooking with gas. All right, so let's go down to the correct airway. Highway in the sky, as I like to call it. So that's the airway. We're going to enter here at Flagstaff, and we're going to exit at KC. I just wish there were more waypoints in between so it would, like, program them all, but we're just doing a short little flight today. so load that. And now let's go to the line below KC and plug in our next waypoint, which is Navho. And then from Navho, we're going to plug in another airway in the sky, another highway, even though we don't have to. I like doing it, so I'm going to do it, even though there's no reason. even though there's no reason to do it, I'm still going to do it. All right, we can see here, Navho. It is a little cumbersome going back and forth with those knobs like that, but it is what it is. All right, here we go. V. Let's do that one there. 257. And then we're going to end at Bishop. B-I-S-O-P. Where you had, there's a lot of waypoints on this highway. There's Bishop. Alright, so we highlight that, push enter. Scroll down to load. Hit the enter button again. One more again. Alright, and now we can set up. We got to plug in our. We got to plug in the destination airport. So Grand Canyon National Park. It's KGCN. USA. Yeah, USA. America. There we are. Enter. Enter. We gotta choose our runway. What runway is it? Runway 3. So we're gonna highlight it. We're gonna push enter. We're gonna push. There we go. Now we good. Now let's click the procedure button. Let's select our departure first. Push enter. There's only one to choose from with this airport, so that's the one we're going to do. Now we can scroll down to load. We're going to click load. That's done. Now we can press procedure again and select our approach. So ILS runway 3. We can push enter. And we're going to do Bishop as our entry point. And the minimums, according to the chart, is 239 feet over the barometric pressure. 0 feet, so whatever the barometer is at 0 feet, add 239 feet to that, and that's what this airplane's gonna say is our decision height for the most part. So that's why we're closest one is 240, so we're gonna plug in 240. So that'd be our decision height. But we're gonna decide to land, I'm pretty sure. Alright, let's click load. Yep, we can just click yes. Yep, thank you for the error message. Alright, let's fire up the engines. Let's turn on the fuel switch for the left side, turn on the master engine button, and then we're going to push in that left button just for a few seconds, hold it for a few seconds, hold it, let it go. And that jumpy should be go ahead and fire it up now. There we go, that engine is purring. Yes, sir. Alright, let's do the left side, fuel pump switch on, engine master on, and I don't think that's going to get it done. I don't think I held it in long enough. Oh, you're such an idiot, Greg. Alright, let's go back. Let's push that button in for a few more seconds. Should be good now. Yep, now we're cooking with gas. Alright, let's go ahead and I like to set the course for the localizer. For the ILS, I like to set the course now. You can do it however you want. I'm just going to do it now because I'm not using this setting at all until we get ready to land. So I'm just going to program in that 30 degrees now, a course of 30. And let's hit the CDI button and go back to GPS. We're going to push that button there, and we're going to set up these bearings. That I tell you, that pop-up, man, bothers the hell out of me, man. It always blocks the button. All right, so let's push bearing for GPS there, and we'll push bearing 2 for ILS. Nav 1, DME, we'll set that up now, even though there's no reason for it right now, but at least it's already programmed and set. And, oop, wrong thing. Let's leave option 3 for the wind. There we go. Let's push the back button. Push it again. Now we're all set up. We'll change those bearing pointers moving forward. Now this map I like because it shows you your actual elevation. So red means we're like ground level, and then the colors get lighter as you go up in the air to let you know what your altitude is versus the actual ground. So we'll leave that there. All right, let's go to this flight plan here, and now let me go ahead and set the correct altitude, because that 10,000 is not going to work. So we push the VNAV prof button. Now we can scroll. According to the departure we're doing, the standard instrument departure we're doing, the minimum safe altitude around here is 13,000 feet. So I'm just going to program in 13,000 for our cruising altitude. It's not going to be much of a cruise today. It's only about 20 minutes before we start our descent. So now we're all set there, and the rest of the values will load in behind that. And for the approach, those values are already set because it's part of the approach. So we're good there. Turn on a little bit of lights. Probably should have did that. In a real airplane, you're supposed to do that before you start the engines, but, you know, I only play a pilot on the internet. I do not play a pilot in real life. Alright, let's program the first part of our climb. So we're going to level off at 10,000 feet, possibly before we go up to 13,000 feet. We'll make that decision en route. Flight director on. Let's click the nav button. Now that's on, and we are pretty much all set to taxi to the runway. But I want to change this map up a little bit. Let's get rid of the real map. Let's put on the topographical map, or however you pronounce it. And we're going to zoom in. Oh, we're going to zoom in. Let's zoom all the way in so we can make sure our airplane gets to the right runway. That's right. All right, now we all good for our taxi. Taxi to the runway and get this bird up in the air. Yeah. Yes, sir. All right, here is the standard instrument departure we're doing today from runway 21. We're going to pick up Jexy, GATS, Pippo, ZT, and Biter. Now let's program our ascent. So FLC mode, flight level control mode. So I like to push that button first. And we're going to climb at a speed of 87 knots. And whatever our ascent angle is what it is. So let's program that now. We're just going to continue to push this button here until we get to 87. And then we'll go ahead and be set for our takeoff. And now we can get up on the runway and put this bird in the air. That's right. And then the only thing I need to do is push the autopilot button on my controller, which is the triangle or the Y button, depending on which controller you're using. And your autopilot will be all programmed at that point for navigation and for your climb to whatever altitude you choose. That's right. Alright, my friends, we're about ready to make our approach to the airport. So let's go ahead and activate our approach. I already brought it up here. It's highlighted. Let's push enter. And that will automatically change our flight plan to the approach. So let's push enter. Now we are all set for our approach. And momentarily I'm going to switch from nav mode to heading mode, and then use that to capture the localizer. So we'll be doing that here momentarily, but we need to make our way down to 8,200 feet, which is the point where the glide scope should capture for us, according to the chart, which, oh yeah, I never brought the chart up. Well, let's, all right, let me bring the chart up so I can show you the chart for our landing today. All right, here's our approach today. It's a course of 30 degrees. The frequency is 108.9, and the name of the ILS is IGCN, and we should pick it up at Hapley, about 6 miles out from the airport. So that's what we're going to do. We need to pick it up about 6.2 miles out of the airport, about 8,200 feet in the air, and that's what we're going to work on doing. So I need to fix this V path. I need to fix that again so we can begin our descent, or I may just use VS mode, but hang tight. We're going to be picking up this glide scope here shortly in the next couple of minutes, and we're going to switch over to heading mode here coming up, and then switch the CDI over to localizer mode, and yeah, we're going to be doing all that here coming up. All right, my friends, push the heading button, then push either X or A depending on your controller, and that will line up your heading with the direction you're traveling. Let's push the heading button in, so now we're in heading mode and not nav mode. Let's push the bearing buttons. We'll make bearing 1, nav 1 for the ILS, which is IGCN. We'll have bearing 2 for the GCN Grand Canyon VOR. And now let's switch the CDI over to localizer. So we will go ahead and see exactly where our plane is situated versus the localizer. Let's move our heading to 30 degrees roughly. And then once we start making our turn, we're going to push the approach button. And that should capture the localizer pretty quickly. So there's approach mode on, and let's see, localizer is captured, so we already have the 30 degrees programmed. Our plane will make its way over to the correct course of 30 degrees, and when we get to the correct distance and the correct altitude, the glide scope will capture. You can see GS in white on the right hand of that information bar up top there, and yeah, man, we are pretty much all set. Let's go ahead and set about a 500 feet per second descent, so it's slow enough so we don't worry about overspeeding, and not too fast to where we get down to 8,200 feet, well below the point that we should. You can see on the display there on the right, the little diamond for the glide scope is coming into view, so we'll just keep on keeping on. Let's program 8,200 there, and yeah, man, we'll just let this thing ride out till we get to the right spot. The glide scope will capture, and that should be it. From there, we can just ride it on out to our landing. That's right. Oh, by the way, I haven't grifted at all, if you noticed so far in this episode. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Please click the like button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. I certainly do appreciate it. And that's it. Let's go ahead and land this bird at the Grand Canyon National Park Aeroport. That's right. And there we have it, my friends. Another soft, buttery, maybe not soft and buttery, but another touchdown. That's right. We got to get a soft, buttery touchdown coming up here. The next video, we going to get one of them because we haven't had one of them in a short while now. Anyways, happy Sunday. Thanks for checking out my video. Thanks for flying along this flight with me in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 on my iPad. That's right. This is your Internet Pilot Captain, Greg, signing off. Be good to yourself. Be good to other people, and certainly be good to me by leaving a like, commenting, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell. That's right. Y'all have a good day until we see each other again in the friendly skies. This is Greg signing off. See ya.